Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our panel discussion on understanding DeFi. My name is Anastasia, and I'm going to be your host today. And today we'll explore the fascinating world of decentralized finance. So, DeFi is a financial industry that's providing decentralized peer to peer financial services that eliminate the need for traditional intermediaries like banks and brokers. And DeFi has grown exponentially in popularity with billions of dollars locked in various DeFi protocols. So today we're privileged to have an amazing panel of experts who will share their insights on this industry. And the first one who's going to speak today, it's going to be Akash from Firechain, and Akash is going to tell us a little bit about himself right now and about the company that he's working with. Hi, Akash, how are you?
Hi. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, team. Pleasure to be here on this panel with some other terrific speakers. Um, a little bit info about me. I've been in the space for approx 5 years now. Currently working at Firechain. So Firechain is building world's first sustainable blockchain ecosystem. Currently, I'm working towards growth and business development side for Fire. Besides this, I'm also running my Web3 services platform for exchange listing development, marketing, so on and so forth. So yeah, look forward to a great discussion today, and yeah, cheers.
Thank you so much, Akash. We also have Nikos from Spherex, an expert in decentralized applications. Hi there, Nikos. How are you?
Hi everyone, thank you so much for inviting me today. It's my pleasure to be in this panel today. So yes, some things about myself. So I'm Nikos, I'm operations and KOL manager at Spherex. I've been in the crypto space for like four and something years now. So it's quite, nice to have the opportunity to discuss about such an interesting topic today. So some things about Spherex. Spherex is a cutting-edge decentralized exchange. Our aim, among other things, is to redefine the digital asset trading with some features that I can very briefly share with you. So in fact, our platform aims to combine off-chain matching for rapid trade execution, on-chain settlement for increased security, as well as cross-margin trading for capital efficiency. So this is one part, as we want to have a very robust product as a DEX. And then again, the other thing that we want to implement is we want to make accessible and inclusive product for all the people. So starting from the seasoned and the power users and the power traders up to the newbies and the people who have just want to have let's say a friendly entry when it comes to the world of crypto. So this is pretty much it. I can share a couple of more details as the discussion will be let's say ongoing. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Nikos. Really excited to hear what you have to say. We also have here Maxim from DFinder. Hi, Maxim. How are you?
Hi everyone, pleasure to be here. Hope you can hear me well. I'm having some issues with Wi-Fi today, but I'm a CEO of DeFinder, and we're a decentralized finance platform that specializes on crowd lending and decentralized loans for real-world assets. I've been in this business for a number of years. Prior worked in banking and institutional finance, so I've seen both sides of the story, and truly believe that DeFi is indeed the future. And look forward to hearing more thoughts from my peers. And thank you for the invitation, Anastasia.
Thank you so much, Maxim. Can't wait to hear all the points that you have to bring up. We also have here Salman from uniramp. Hi, Salman. How are you?
Yes, hi everyone. Great to be here. I'm Salman. I'm the CEO of uniramp. I've been in the crypto space professionally since 2017. Founded different projects in the past, like in communities in the MENA region and a marketing agency. At uniramp, it's what we do. It's an on-ramp aggregator platform. So basically, we aggregate from different on-ramp solution into one API. So in that one API, you can have Mercurial, TransFi, on-ramp money, and so on. And on the DeFi side, we offer the DeFi swap with the same transaction. So that would allow buying tokens that built on Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and Solana. And I'm happy to be here and excited to share the panel with others.
Awesome, guys. Let's start our discussion with the first question. And before we do so, I will just tell you that I'm going to address a question to each one of you. However, if you didn't get the question that you really wanted to, I really encourage you to raise your hand and follow up. Please, let's make it a discussion, not just a question answer. I really like to hear different opinions. Even if you disagree with the speaker, you're more than welcome to add on to this, or if you just want to share your opinion in addition to what others are saying. All right, so the first question that I'm going to address, it to HiAkassh. HiAkassh, could you start off by explaining what defines DeFi and why it has become so popular in the recent years?
Yeah, sure. So to give a background and to give a bit of introduction about DeFi, DeFi stands for decentralized finance, as most of you must be knowing. So it's a term for financial services that we have on blockchains. It started on Ethereum and now slowly and steadily going on other blockchains as well. Other blockchains are also increasing their TVL day by day. So basically, it represents a shift from the traditional banking sector that we had in the past. Currently, now we have all of those things over our blockchain ecosystem. The things that are making it more popular is people are making higher yields. There is a scope of innovation, the open source nature of the blockchain. It's like anyone can create and implement a new financial products. You don't need to be, elite member of a group in order to access it. Just you need an internet connection. You just need to create your decentralized wallet and just connect to the protocol that you want to work with. So yeah, these are the reasons why it has gained a lot of popularity. The main crux is it's decentralized. It is not controlled by anyone, unlike the traditional finance. Uh, and yeah, it's permissionless. It's interoperable. So yeah, these are the things that are making it a source of attraction for new players, and that's why it's different and gaining some attention. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Does anyone else have to add something important that we are maybe missing out on DeFi?
Yeah, I would like to just add a bit more because a lot of people speak about decentralized finance like this is a one kind of industry, but as traditional finance, there's levels to this, whether it's yield generating finance, whether it's investments, whether it's lending, just like traditional banking finance and decentralized finance right now is becoming wider than ever before. And that is something that is also adding to the growth of the industry. So when we talk about decentralized finance, is essentially the same services, including loans, asset storage, investment vehicles, maybe funds that you can see from traditional banks and funds that is now being opened to the public at lower fees without intermediaries. Where before there had to be 10 clerks and 5 bank officers to sign up on every transaction, now it's done automatically within seconds on the blockchain. So when we talk about decentralized finance, essentially it's the same as your traditional banking and all the other services that are right now seen as finance. But the only difference is that it's cheaper, faster, and more secure. It's to an extent. It's up for discussion, but I think it's important to also understand that it's not just one thing, it's multiple different topics that all are engulfed under this finance banner.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maxime. We'll now move on to the next question about the main components of decentralized exchanges and liquidity pools. Any takers on this question?
Maybe I can start by saying a couple of things. I don't know if
Awesome, of
anyone
course.
else
Please
doesn't
go
want to.
ahead.
Okay, so as I represent Spherex, which as I've already told you is a decentralized exchange. So in fact, we're a perpetual decentralized exchange. So when it comes to the components of both DEXs and liquidity pools, of course, as one knows, I mean, even if someone is a beginner in the realm, in the Web3 realm, they might know that both elements are quite crucial when it comes to having a complete DeFi ecosystem. So in this case, we have the on the one hand, we might have the DEXs and the liquidity pools on the other hand. So in this case, we enable peer-to-peer cryptocurrency trading without having people staying and moving in between. So we don't have like intermediaries. So this is quite important as a first step. On the one hand, we know that the DEXs, they utilize smart contracts. So we have a complete anonymity when it comes, to trading and the order books and stuff. With, of course, then we have the automated market makers. One example might be like Uniswap, for instance. They use like mathematical formulas in order to price the assets, and they facilitate the trades directly from the liquidity pools. So that's why the next element comes, like the liquidity pools. And as we know, the liquidity pools, they consist of tokens that are provided, let's say, by liquidity providers. And those liquidity providers, there might be some users, let's say, who earn a share of trading fees in return. So this is one benefit that one can have from this interaction, so to speak. So in turn, the LP tokens, they represent their stake in the pool, and of course, they can also be used in other DeFi protocols, to attract some additional rewards. Of course, there are some other, let's say, points when it comes to the DEXs and the liquidity pools themselves. For instance, some DEXs, also ourselves, we are aiming to introduce a governance token. So this idea is something that is very important when it comes to giving financial freedom to the people and the opportunity to decide themselves. So this is quite important to stress out that the people and the users, they have like voting power when it comes to the changes on the protocol, or when we want to enhance the engagement of the people and the community itself. But of course also the LPs and all the relative activities, they also have like some risks that we need to tackle, and we're working on tackling them. Is one of them, and the most predominant one might be the impermanent loss, which is in most cases apparent. However, I mean, this is something that I wanted to stress out as a final remark, so to speak. The most important thing is that through DEXs and of course the liquidity pools, we have like a real and actual decentralized and transparent alternative when it comes to the the conventional trading systems. And of course, this is something that is also inclusive, as is also the aim of our project itself. So thank you so much, Anastasia.
Thank you so much, Nikos. Nikos, but I actually have a follow-up question to you about the primary ways that people can benefit from decentralized exchanges. This is something partially that you've mentioned, but are there any other additional ways that people can work with them?
Yeah, of course. I mean, several ways of people who want to earn when it comes, like, of course, to staking, to trading. There are several other means for, the people and the users themselves. I mean, we already have discussed about the governance tokens and the tokens themselves, but we also have like many features when it comes to trading. In our case, we have like the perpetual trading, options, but there are also other means, like as I told you, like the staking, like some other community benefits when it comes to giving benefits to the community and the people and the traders themselves. And also there are other means of earning additional rewards. So this is something, of course, that, I mean, also in our case in Spherex, we are largely working on, and we want our community to benefit as much as possible.
Thank you so much, Nikos. Maxime, let me talk to you now. What precautions should users take to protect themselves when engaging in DeFi activities? What's your to go to list? What would you recommend if you were talking to a friend that was about to start engaging with DeFi?
Well, DeFi is a bit less regulated than the classical finance, meaning that the due diligence and the responsibility for the decisions that you make falls on you. You cannot trust everything you see online. That's something that I always recommend, is to do your own due diligence. And for me personally, I'm always recommending to try to check the sources, try to engage with conversations. If we're talking about tokens, for example, or launch of decentralized investment vehicles, there I would recommend to check a lot regarding the corporate structure, regarding the way that the team is engaging, regarding the actual tangible assets that you can see from the platform, and to try to avoid projects which don't have a safe demographic, which don't have a clear investment structure, a large investment firm behind it. The projects that do not elaborate on the team, or the projects that don't disclose information about them, their location, and essentially don't have the KYC. The reason for this is decentralization, first of all, presents the opportunity for a lot of people. Like, for example, as we see with DeFinder, we have projects, really good projects from all around the world that are looking to get financing, and they approach us to engage with us so that we can help them secure loans from our communities and our members. But out of 10 projects, I decline 8. These projects are just seeking funds, or they don't have a good enough structure. And we are quite skeptical with everything that we select on our platform. We try to just propose the companies and the teams that we believe have the best structure, and if something, we know with whom we're engaging, and we have a full KYC, full due diligence. But when we look at other decentralized projects, where there is an opportunity, there is also a risk. So some projects, they just try to engage people with beautiful pictures and beautiful websites and empty promises. And unfortunately, this also sometimes creates a negative perception of decentralization within the wider community. So overall, I'd say if you're looking for DeFi, try to make sure that you verify the company, verify the people behind, verify the business case, and make sure you're smart with your investments and the way you're picking the companies.
Thank you so much, Maxime. Salman, what about you? How do you envision the DeFi space evolving in the coming years? Do you see any trends? Do you see where the space is going?
Yes, sure. I mean, at the beginning, I would like just to add on the precautions. I do think definitely I agree on you have to be very wary with any project that especially the too good to be true in terms of returns. There's a lot of promises out there, and I do think it's very important for users to verify this. And I do think, or I usually warn a friend when asking me about DeFi to not risk the life savings, or like just going a bit too far with the size of the investment. Like talking about how the DeFi space evolving further, like I do think for DeFi to realize its full potential, it needs to tackle some of the challenges, and that could be user friendliness, especially onboarding Web2 users to the Web3. Also the security aspect, and all the blog posts that we hear, and that has to be addressed. But I do think what is more important, that when DeFi won't replace the traditional finance, in my opinion. I do think it's more like it can't completely do it, but it would work alongside with it, and that would create a more inclusive and efficient financial ecosystem that would push us forward, and also like allow more opportunities for the people worldwide. It kind of gives access to anyone with internet. to get engaged with the financial system, and I think this is what we are missing from the traditional one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Salman. Does anyone else have any visions of DeFi within the close future? Do you guys see the space evolving further, or do you think it will be less and less popular due to the forced regulations that are coming upon us?
Well,
Yeah,
if I may add, let's go ahead, HiAkassh. Sorry, I don't mean to speak over
no, no,
you.
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say a few words. Well, the fact that it won't replace traditional finance, I think this is something that we'll have to see how the future progresses, because the way that I see blockchain and blockchain technologies in this case, I'm not talking about particularly DeFi, but the ecosystem around DeFi that allows it. I see that it has major benefits for the financial industry, traditional financial industry, whether it's recording investments in an open ledger to verify the ownership of the assets and verify the ecosystems and who has which share of which company. All of this is now done manually by individuals. And when we talk about DeFi, for me, this is a major component and advantage where all of this is, instead of using clerks and accountants and you pay them unnecessary fees every time you have to do a transaction or you have to verify the ownership, all of this could be recorded in the chain. So in my point of view, I can see that blockchain and crypto and tokens will overtake or be incorporated inside the traditional finance more and more. It's just more economical and more time efficient. The fact that I think two will merge in the near future is almost a certainty in my mind. However, what I see in terms of the medium-term growth of DeFi is definitely in terms of decentralized loans, decentralized applications, decentralized investment vehicles. I see this becoming more institutionalized in a sense where before we had just pure speculation on the token price. Now more and more we have structured vehicles with real financial professionals from traditional finance that are launching these complex investment vehicles and that are now generating returns which are more realistic, where we're not talking about 100x anymore, but we're talking about stable 30%, which is completely collateralized, or there is a hedge position on the other side. And this is something we haven't seen before. And now all of the hedge funds and the investment vehicles that before would generate, let's say, interest rates for the pensions, I can see now same vehicles could be used to generate a return for investors and retail investors. And the main barrier is regulation and education, in my opinion. So go ahead, HiAkassh.
Yeah, just wanted to shed light on the institutional involvement that we are seeing in the recent past. So I see as the ecosystem matures, so more institutional investors are likely to enter, and they are entering as we speak. So I think this could lead to a larger pool of capital, higher liquidity, and this will increase the legitimacy of the DeFi. As we see, there are some drawbacks in the current situation. So as we see more regulations, more institutional involvement, so I think that will bring a lot of legitimacy with it. And yeah, institutional grade tools and services are going to be developed in order to meet the needs of those participants. So if I talk about trends, so we can see that protocols like IGN layer and liquidity staking and all of those things are coming into trend. So yeah, I think with the involvement with the institutions, so that will clear the image of the space and will be good for the space.
Thank you so much, HiAkassh. Nikos?
So actually, I totally agree with the other co-panelists and their views. I just wanted to stress out the, let's say, two major keywords when it comes, to how I believe the DeFi space should evolve further in the future. So those two keywords are, on the one hand, credibility, on the other hand is education. So credibility when it comes to, as the other guys said before, the other speakers, the idea is, of course, to provide some quality projects and provide some robust products that offer credible points to the crypto industry, and they don't, let's say, put largely at risk, the reputation of the DeFi system and all the relative endeavors of other projects that they are currently doing. I think that credibility is very important. I mean, to make sure that all projects meet, and somehow this has to be, let's say, followed in a manner of mutual understanding and mutual building. So I think this is something that is very important. And second is education, because as more people will be joining in the DeFi space, I think it is quite important to have all the tools and all the means in order to educate those people and educate the new people who will be joining our industry. So I think that in this case, even common strategies can be followed, and they can be materialized by several project alliances, so to speak, in order to have some common guideline for the new users that are coming on our space. And lastly, regarding the regulations, I would prefer to treat the regulations and the potential upcoming regulations as an opportunity rather than as a risk. I think that if we make, let's say, good use of these regulations and how these will be implemented in our space, I think in the end this will be an opportunity and not a risk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maxim.
A couple of my co-panelists have mentioned regulation. This is something that I encounter on a daily basis, where we speak to individuals and there's discussions worldwide in the news. We hear about crypto regulation, DeFi regulation. What, let's say, most people don't understand, and maybe my co-panelists will agree or disagree with me, but here I maybe will say something controversial. This could never be properly regulated. This industry will never be regulated as we know it. One main reason is the full system is built on wallets, anonymous wallets, and it's built in a completely decentralized manner. So there is no real way to impose AML and KYC policies, because as soon as you start imposing these AML and KYC policies, let's say on industry leaders, there is just a way for new market entrants to open a new exactly same ecosystem, or more or less similar ecosystem, and provide the same service without the AML and KYC policies. So the goal of the regulator would be just chasing every new market enter and forcing them to implement AML and KYC policies. And because the internet and the blockchain ecosystem in itself is open and wide, I don't see how realistic it would be to impose, let's say, the most basic control on this industry. So for me, when people say about regulation as an opportunity, I see that regulation in this space could be a bit of a waste of time and resources on my end, because I haven't yet heard a viable idea on how to regulate even the simplest exchanges, or how would you regulate a decentralized exchange. Maybe it would be interesting for me to hear the thoughts on some people who are more involved with these things. But in my opinion, I think we're in a market where it never will be fully regulated, and the transparency is only a choice that the teams make. So the more transparent is the team, the more open they are. It's their choice. It's not forced on them. So if you see a transparent company that is sharing information and that is wide open about who they are, what's behind the company, that to me is one of the biggest advantages and green flags from the decentralized finance world. But again, maybe I'm saying something controversial, and if somebody thinks it's a bit different, or there is a specific way you think the regulation could come in, I would love to hear.
Let's see if there are more follow-ups on Maxim's question. And if no one has anything to add to that, I will gladly thank everyone for joining our space today. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in and sharing your opinion on this topic. It's very important to hear all of it. I hope that our listeners learned a lot more today. Once again, thank you so much for coming, and see you guys next week.
Thank you for hosting us. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for having us. Have a nice one.